You can hear the differences between the materials right here. The Merrell Hydro Mocs feel a lot more textured, very akin to rubber, whereas the foam on the Crocs feel a lot more smooth. Are you in the market for a pair of water shoes but you don't know which one to get? The Merrell Hydro Mocs or the Croc Clogs? Well, this is the video for you because I'll be comparing them head to head and I'll let you know at the end of this video which one I choose and why. So let's get started. Right off the bat, the information you need to know is that the Merrell Hydro Mocs go for $55 USD and the Croc Clogs go for $50 USD. The Merrell Hydro Mocs go true to size, whereas the Croc Clogs go one size down to get you the perfect size. Between the two, on hand and on feet, the Merrell Hydro Mocs feel a lot lighter than the Croc Clogs. The Merrell Hydro Mocs go about 14 ounces on paper and the Croc Clogs are about 16 ounces. In person, the detail between the Merrell Hydro Mocs and the Croc Clogs is that the Merrell Hydro Mocs have a higher quality in construction as well as durability in the materials. When you look at the foam on the Croc Clogs, it feels a lot less durable, and you can also see that there's a lot of imperfections within the foam itself. Now, with the foam on the Croc Clogs, or just the Crocs, I don't know why I have to say the full name, but with the Crocs, you can see that with the shoe, it feels more like a material that's close to like a foam yoga mat. So it can definitely tear, whereas opposed to the Merrell Hydro Mocs, it feels more akin to rubber. Even though it is still foam, and you can squeeze it like foam, it feels more tight in terms of the density of the foam, and it feels a lot more durable than it is for the foam on the Crocs. You can hear the differences between the materials right here. The Merrell Hydro Mocs feel a lot more textured, very akin to rubber, whereas the foam on the Crocs feel a lot more smooth. The materials used on both shoes is really important. They're both made out of petroleum EVA, but 10% of it on Merrell Hydro Moc is actually made out of algae, and it's algae thermoplastics. In that process, they actually save about 45 liters of water or about 23 cubic meters of air cleaned. So between the two, if you're looking for sustainable materials, the Merrell Hydro Moc wins. It goes without saying that comfort is obviously a #1 priority for most people. And the comfort on the Merrell Hydro Mocs come from the heel cushioning. With the shape of the shoe, the way it bends, it allows you to have a little bit more heel cushioning, but the overall material on the Crocs is a lot less dense in the foam, which means that the foam has a lot more air to compact. So the foam on the Crocs actually feels a lot more comfier in the entire shoe, whereas the Merrell Hydro Mocs only really have a lot more comfort at the heel area. Between the two shoes, the slip in and slip out convenience is really important. The Merrell Hydro Mocs is easy to slip in by pulling the back tab back, putting your foot in and letting go, and now it's secure. If you want extra security, you can use the strap. Whereas on the Crocs, you can use it as a slipper and you don't have to worry about that. But it means that it's a lot easier for your feet to slip out if you walk on difficult terrain such as sand or gravel, and your feet just might slip out if it gets stuck. But that's where this strap comes in. However, this strap makes it hard for you to take on or off the shoe. If you wear this shoe, it's a lot harder to take off if you were to use one foot without using your fingers to intervene. Whereas with the Merrells, you can easily just take it off by stepping on the back tab and just pulling your foot out. So between the two shoes, of course, there's obviously a skill involved here if you want more convenience between the two shoes on taking it on or taking it off. And that is up to you on what is more important to you. Do you want a slipper mode and then adventure mode? Or do you just want full adventure mode and not worry about the shoe slipping out of your feet at all? So in my opinion, at the end of the day, the conclusion is that I find the Merrell Hydro Mocs a lot more fitting in my lifestyle. A lot of people would choose the Crocs because obviously it's a cultural icon. It's also been here for a lot longer. It's the original water shoe. So if you're into that, you can definitely purchase that for that reasons or those reasons. And it's also a lot more cushioning. For me, I'm a much more adventure focused person. So if I were to pick between the two, I would pick the Merrells because I feel like I'm ready to go and explore different terrains with this Merrell shoe. And it just feels a lot more secure, a lot more durable. Even though it might sacrifice a little bit in comfort, I don't think it's going to be that far off because both of them are still light, both of them are still breathable, and both of them are very flexible. And so at the end of the day, I feel like the Merrells win me over because of this. And overall design also reminds me of the foam runner. So if you're really interested in this type of organic look and you're trying to find an alternative to the easy foam runners, then maybe this Merrell Hydro Moc is also for you. But if you're into the Crocs because you just want a shoe to lounge around, get in and out of the house easy, or just use it for camping or lounging, then the Crocs are definitely a great pick. Between the two shoes, whichever one you pick, I don't think you'll be taking an L at all. I think both shoes are fantastic options, and they're not even that far off from each other in terms of capacity, convenience, or reliability for lounging, adventures, whatnot. Anyways, this has been Billyvisuals. Y'all just got visualized. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.